Mangwana Nimwalelepo Uvukenjani Klekwas Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Berry. These are some of the top stories we'll be looking at today. Bangladesh shuts universities and colleges indefinitely after protests turn deadly. World's rarest whale washes up on New Zealand beach, and Interpol arrests 300 people in global crackdown on West African crime groups. OneUp2.com, DSTV 285, GoTV 25, and Network Media Hub on YouTube is precisely where you can find us. We'll also be talking to Talent Gore as she brings us the news stories from Zimbabwe. Top stories shortly.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Now in our top stories, Bangladesh announced that it will indefinitely shut down all public and private universities from Wednesday after protests by students against the quota system for government jobs turned deadly this week, leaving at least 6 people dead and scores injured. The South Asian nation has been rocked by protests for weeks over public sector job quotas, which include a 30% reservation for family members of freedom fighters from the 1971 War of Independence from Pakistan. It has sparked anger among students who face high youth unemployment rates, with nearly 32 million young Bangladeshis not in work or education out of a total population of 170 million people. Demonstrations intensified after Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina refused to meet the protesters' demands, citing ongoing court proceedings, and labeled those opposing the quotas as Razaka, a term used for those who allegedly collaborated with the Pakistani army during the 1971 war. Now, the protests turned violent this week when thousands of anti-quota protesters clashed with members of the student wing of the ruling Awami League party across the country. Now, talking some nature, the body of a spade-toothed whale, a species so rare that it has never been seen alive, appears to have washed up on a New Zealand beach, scientists say. Now, the remains of the obscure 5-meter-long beaked creature were found near a river mouth in southern Otago province on the 4th of July, government researchers said. It was identified by marine mammal experts from New Zealand's Department of Conservation and the National Museum, Te Papa, as a male spade-toothed whale. A DNA investigation has been launched to confirm its classification, the scientists said. Spade-toothed whales are one of the most poorly known large mammalian species of modern times, said the Conservation Department's Coastal Otago Operations Manager, Gabe Davies. Since the 1800s, only 6 samples have ever been documented worldwide, and all but one of these was from New Zealand, Davies said in a statement. Now, from a scientific and conservation point of view, this is huge. The find was fresh enough to offer the first opportunity for a spade-toothed whale to be dissected, the Conservation Department also said. Now, in a global operation targeting West African crime groups across 5 continents, police arrested 300 people, seized $3 million, and blocked 720 bank accounts, Interpol said. Operation Jackal 3, which ran from 10 April to 3 July in 21 countries, aimed to fight online financial fraud and the West African syndicates behind it, the agency said in a statement. The volume of financial fraud stemming from West Africa is alarming and increasing, said Isaac Ogini, director of Interpol's Financial Crime and Anti-Corruption Center. This operation's results underscored the critical need for international law enforcement collaboration to combat these extensive criminal networks. One of the targeted groups was Black Axe, one of the most prominent criminal networks in West Africa. Black Axe operates in cyber fraud, human trafficking, and drug smuggling, and is responsible for violent crimes both within Africa and globally, the agency added. Black Axe used money money mules to open bank accounts worldwide and is now under investigation in over 40 countries for related money laundering activities, the agency said. Now, authorities were scouring the ocean off South Africa's east coast on Wednesday. This for 44 containers missing after breaking loose from a French-owned ship in heavy seas last week, the maritime body said. The ultra-large container ship heading to Le Havre from Asia encountered bad weather in the Indian Ocean near the city of Durban on the 9th of July, the South African Maritime Safety Authority said. Aerial surveys of the area were being carried out to trace the containers, and other vessels in the area have been asked to look out for them, SAMSA spokesman Tebogo Ramashi told AFP. We've received information from passing ships. Some of them spotted containers in the area, but our aerial survey has not found any containers yet, he said. The cargo was lost when a container stack collapsed on the Benjamin Franklin, a Maltese flagged ship owned by French logistics firm CMA CGM. Now, former South African President Jacob Zuma was expected to face a disciplinary hearing with the African National Congress Party on Wednesday after campaigning against the organization he once led as head of a new political party in national elections in May. The hearing could lead to Zuma, 82, being expelled from the ANC, which he joined in the late 1950s when it was a liberation movement fighting against the apartheid system of white minority rule. Zuma was forced to step down as South African president in 2018 amid allegations of corruption and has been embroiled in a political feud since then with President Cyril Ramaphosa, who replaced him as the leader of the party and the country. Zuma's split with the ANC was confirmed in December when he appeared at a press conference and announced he would campaign for the recently founded MK party in the May 29 elections. He has been fiercely critical of Ramaphosa, even accusing him of treason at one point. You are still with Africa Good Morning. We're going to be getting the news fresh from Zimbabwe as Talent Gore joins us after the break.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.
All right, it's time for us to talk to Talent Gore. Talent wa mukase.
Tamka dukana mamkase Africa.
Tamuka Hedu. Now, the High Court of Zimbabwe has denied 78 citizens of Coalition for Change members bail. Tell us more.
Yes, a 7 Citizens Coalition for Change party activists have been denied bail by the High Court of Zimbabwe. I think I've been doing this story for quite some time now. So they were arrested on June 16 after they were having a private gathering at one of their party leaders' houses, and the police came and arrested them, causing them for trying to incite violence. So right now they have been in prison since June 16, and they appealed to the High Court of Zimbabwe for bail, but yesterday the High Court denied them bail, saying that the activists were holding the gathering unsanctioned. They were not supposed to do that. And also the High Court said that they fear that if they are given bail, they might cause chaos, they might go into the streets and chaos might erupt. So right now they were denied bail and they are still in prison. Apparently there was a minor amongst the 77 who was given bail yesterday. So the minor is the only person who was given bail, but the other 76, they are to remain in prison until their trial kicks off.
All right. Now, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Mushayavanu has warned fuel dealers to make use of the ZIG, the ZiG, Zimbabwean currency, if only for tax purposes.
Yes, apparently fuel stations in Zimbabwe, they do not accept the local currency. They prefer the United States dollars. So the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor John Mshayavano has said that there is nothing that is stopping fuel dealers from selling some of their products in the Zimbabwe gold currency. He said that even if they can't, they have to pay taxes in our local currency. So right now, access to the US dollar remains crucial to petroleum companies who import fuel, because not most of them, they import the fuel from outside Zimbabwe. So for doing that, they need foreign currency. So the fuel stations themselves, they'll tell you that in as much as would want to accept our local currency, we can't do that because we can't then buy, or we can't purchase our products in the local currency. We then need to use the foreign currency. So it's better for them to charge in the United States dollars. So right now the governor is saying that they should accept the local currency. So we're just going to be monitoring the situation to see if they take heed of what the governor of the Reserve Bank is saying, to ensure that citizens can use their local currency to buy the fuel, because right now all they need is United States dollars.
All right, Talent. Now, in the last of your stories, the World Health Organization has warned that there is an increase of COVID-19 cases in Zimbabwe at a time when Zimbabwe is experiencing a deadly flu wave, which many Zimbabweans feel is actually COVID-19 resurging.
Yes. Apparently, the World Health Organization is warned, or rather, they have written to the government to ensure that most of the hospitals are equipped with oxygen and with oxygen tanks, because they fear that there is an increase of COVID-19 in Zimbabwe. But the government is saying that just a normal flu. It's not COVID-19. It's not COVID-19 that is making waves in Zimbabwe right now. There's a deadly flu that is going around, but the government is saying that it's not COVID-19. But the World Health Organization has said that the government should notify health facilities of the potential increase in cases and the need for raised index of suspicion for COVID-19, especially in situations with limited testing capacity. The World Health Organization also encouraged the government to ensure the availability of enough oxygen in health facilities to care of acute cases. But despite all of this, the government is still denying that there might be COVID-19. They are saying that it's not COVID-19, it's just normal flu, since we are in the winter season. So it's not COVID-19. So we're not really sure as to if the government had notified health personnel, or if they have equipped hospitals with enough oxygen to cater for those who might need the oxygen in hospitals. So we're not really sure if the government has notified hospitals of that.
All right, we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that situation. Thank you very much, Talent, for bringing us the news stories from Zimbabwe.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for having me.
It's always good having you on Africa. Good morning. Now into a community story in Namibia. Residents of Katutura and other city of Windhoek settlements yesterday morning marched and protested to the Municipal Customer Assistance Center in Katutura against a variety of actions, including the cutting off of water and power supply, even for prepaid systems, and the exclusion of various underprivileged residents from debt write-off interventions, among other things. This report is by Jemima Ndebele.
This morning, the Karatura Residents Committee organized a protest against the city of Windhoek, drawing attention to pressing issues faced by the community. The aggrieved residents delivered 3 key demands, each accompanied by an ultimatum. The first demand is the unblocking of all blocked electricity meters within 48 hours. Residents argue that the blocked meters have caused undue hardship and that illegal connections will be made if the demand is not met. Secondly, the committee also called for a complete audit of the City of Windhoek's billing system, while the third demand targets the 1992 Build Together model in rental erven in the Sewende Laan en Agste Laan.
And that is because you saw the pressure. For 3 years, from 2022, you knew about this system. Yes. For 2024, we have been demonstrating for 2 years. So people have been hiding this system and demanding money from us while they know that money is not supposed to be there.
Yes.
So, ons het geldige betaal, but ons moes nie gebetaal het. You even went to the extent of handing us over to Red Force. What we then went to find out was that Red Force is illegally appointed. When we went to ACC, not us, their own auditors, hulle se eie auditeure het 'n sak teen hulle se mense gemaak vir Red Force. Sien julle die korrupsie? That is what we went to pick up. So you hand over artificial debts to a illegal debt collector. That is the problem. So we are telling you, you must undertake today to tell us when will you have this when are you going to have this forensics auditing, and when can we expect that report?
Getting into our economic news story, the United Arab Emirates has lifted a 21-month-long visa ban on Nigerians. Nigeria's Information Minister Mohammed Idris said this week that the UAE's decision to lift the ban that has been in place since October 2022 came after mutually beneficial negotiations between both governments. He referred to updated controls and conditions that prospective Nigerian visitors to the UAE must abide by. Instead, travelers will be required to submit documents proving their identity and showing travel history, among other things, to generate a verification number that would then be used to apply for a visa. An exception is granted for applicants 13 years or younger, according to a website of the Emirati government. The UAE's ban was premised on a number of factors, including allegations of improper conduct and attempts to circumvent visa rules. That's been economic news. Let's have a look at our indicators just before Adi Hochad brings us the sport.
Good day, everyone. Time for international sports news, and starting off with cycling news first. It is the Tour de France that will conclude this week. The final day will be on Sunday, and it was stage 16 that was completed, and it is Belgium Jasper Philipsen that won the sprint. It was quite a flat stage, no mountains and hills in stage 16, and it was also the green jersey leader that had a little bit of a challenge. He fell 2 kilometers from the end. That is Binyan Girmay. He's from Eritrea, but he's okay, and he can continue with stage 17 and the rest of the tour. General classifications, still it is Tajes Pogačar that is the leader. All the leaders finished in the bunch in the end in stage 16, and it is Tajes Pogačar that is 3 minutes and 9 seconds ahead of Jonas Vingegaard. The Vingegaard won last year, and it is Remco Evenepoel 5 minutes and 9 seconds further back in third position. Stage 17 will again be a tough stage. It will be in the mountains in the French Alps. So all the three leaders at the moment, it is Tajes Pogačar, Jonas Vingegaard and Remco Evenepoel will be in contention to win this stage. So that is stage 17. That will be 177 kilometers. On to soccer news or football news. It is after the European Championship. It was England that played in the final but lost against Spain. News from the England camp is that their coach Gareth Southgate decided to step back as the coach of England. He's been there for many years. He got them to a World Cup semi-final, and he also had got them to 2 finals of the European Championship. 4 years ago they lost to Italy, and then the past weekend they lost to Spain. Lots of speculation who might replace Gareth Southgate. The names mentioned at the moment is Mauricio Pochettino, and then also Newcastle's Eddie Howe. And some of the high-profile coaches also mentioned is Liverpool coach, or the former Liverpool coach Jurgen Klopp, and even Pep Guardiola. He's the current coach of Manchester City. Pep Guardiola is still the Manchester City coach up till 2025, but he did indicate that several times that he would love to coach an international team. But this is all still speculation. It is names that is mentioned in the media in England, so we'll see who will be the new coach replacing Gareth Southgate. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is tennis news, and after Wimbledon that was played on grass, it is clay season again. That's leading up to the Olympic Games that will be played at Roland Garros. That will be in Paris in France. News from the Swedish Open is that Rafael Nadal is back again. He's 38 years old, and he played in the first round against Leo Borg, and he beat him by 6-3 and 6-4. That was the first game that Rafael Nadal played after losing in the first round of the French Open. Also, it is the Hamburg European Open being played at the moment, also for men, also on clay surface. And the number 1 seed is Alexander Zverev from Germany, and he will play Jesper de Jong in the round of 32. And the number 2 seed in this tournament is Holger Rune. He's already through to the round of 16. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you for staying with Africa. Good morning. Let's have a look at the highlights from the broadcast. Bangladesh shuts universities, colleges indefinitely after protests turn deadly. World's rarest whale washes up on New Zealand beach. UAE lifts 2022 visa ban on Nigerians. DSTV 285, GoTV 25, oneup2.com, and the Network Media Hub on YouTube is where you can find us. From me, Ashwin Berry, and the Africa Good Morning team, Swereja Kanaka. See you tomorrow.